here. And this is from Jude the King, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, sorry. Royalty is here. Oh, sorry. I'm not subscribed. I'm subscribed on my IRL channel, not my creator channel.
VTubing is in a bit of a weird place. Not that I would personally know, I'm not a VTuber or anything.
I don't know. The mouth's flapping. The definition of VTuber has been expanded.
Close, and if anybody tells you anything different, they're lying to you and probably love the great state of Cyberstan, so they need to be removed immediately. But yes, ever since VTubing started, and ever since...
Yeah. I will look at it later, Kyle. So apparently this was like the first VTuber. I actually don't know a lot of the history of VTubing, but I've slowly kinda become aware of it, obviously since I've become a creator. But it's actually a fairly fascinating history that one day I would like to do a deep dive into.
Since I was introduced to this hellhole, it seemingly took over both my ideas for things to yap about and my choice of entertainment now. I honestly can't tell you how it got to this point, it just happened. However, back in the day, things used to be a lot more calm in the VTubing space, probably because there was a lot less VTubers than there are today, and there was a lot less people watching them, primarily because most people just thought they were anime girls with overly high-pitched voices, and if you were caught watching them, you'd be called a weeb, degenerate, or gooner, in which I guess nothing much has changed in the current.
Nothing much has changed, guys. What were we doing at the very beginning of the stream? We were gooning over Cinevere. And that's okay. That is okay.
Day. But yes, back then there were significantly less VTubers and there were even less speaking English, and now in the current day we have 100 times that where they speak all sorts of languages. I'm gonna get you to below me!
And that's how it's done, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you VTube.
There is definitely an oversaturation problem when it comes to VTubers now. There's a VTuber debuting every day, and it's very hard to stand out in the sea of virtual women.
I can never keep up with this shit. I don't know how Rev Says Desu or Phantom GB or Straub. Like I feel like Stuttering Craig. Like Stuttering Craig, he's kind of like new to like interacting with VTubers and all that, but I'm kind of like him where every once in a while, like one of the VTubers talk about someone and he looks like he's deer in headlights and I'm along there with him. I'm just like, I have no idea who you're talking about. Like recently I learned about like Finley or Finn something she's been gone for like 6 months or something like that. Like she was an incredibly popular VTuber. I had no idea who the she was.
And very few males anyone actually cares about. Poor guys. You should have picked body type 2 in the character creator. The audience surrounding VTubers also grew to the point where most of their...
Yeah, Fillion. Like, a guy made a whole video just based on what's been going on there, how it might be some sort of ARG that's going on. It's super strange.
Activity is heavily monitored, sometimes more than any celebrity, because believe me, I've seen the channels that archive every audible bowel movement their favorite VTuber makes. Like, these guys put...
Various VTuber Fart Compilation, Volume 7. Volume 8. They're getting more... Dude, some of these fucking things get more views than Smash JT. What the hell? I mean, okay, on one hand, I do appreciate the commitment. They had to go through a lot of fucking clips. You never... Yeah, there are a lot of waifus, dude. I don't know. Maybe Sergeant Sapiens and I need to like DM a few times and be like, okay, where are all the waifus at? Where are they?
Most of the pros in Rainbow Six Siege to shame with how accurate they are with picking up these types of audio cues. With the increase in population and attention regarding the VTuber community, it's also led to a lot of negative things as well, like drama, infighting, and gatekeeping, where it's now being discussed if you actually classify as a VTuber if you also post pictures of your face online. And I guess it does break the immersion knowing there's a living, breathing XX chromosome bearing female behind the model, as women...
Well, you guys already know that the only reason that I do my VTuber stuff is so I don't have to play video games with my sunglasses on. I mean, I did that for Expedition 33 and a few other games, but I think there was a point where I finally went, I would actually like to see the game and like see it all the way. Let's see, Sergeant Sapien says, dude, I barely know how many, that many. I find new ones every day. Yeah, Sergeant Sapien, like, if King of the Monsters over on Smash's stream has like the Alyssa Mercante, simping problem, you have a waifu problem, sir. A little bit of a waifu problem, but that's okay. I accept you the way you are.
Can be pretty scary, but with my experience, telling them the function of each of your RimWorld colonists and their work priorities within the colony usually causes them to fuck off. But you also see a lot of hatred for certain VTubers by VTuber fans, and it's usually because they had a conflict with another VTuber or another creator they like, or that VTuber vocalized their opinion that goes against their own opinion, or sometimes they don't really know why they hate them, they just do, and usually said people begin spouting actual nonsense about them on public platforms with no evidence. And the person we're going to be speaking about today has faced a lot of this and is one of the most popular VTubers, Ironmouse, who for the most part has a pretty positive reputation.
You're only attracted to the 2D ones? How much manga do you have, Sergeant? I'm kind of curious.
That has only increased as the years have gone by, but at the same time, the hate for her has also been growing. So today we're going to be going over why she's hated, some of the incidents that caused it, and if it's deserved. But quickly, who even is Ironmouse?
I've been watching that dang old Ironmouse stream for a while, and I got a girlfriend now.
So Ironmouse is a Puerto Rican American VTuber that made her start on the internet in 2017 on a
It's amazing that that's what her VTube model used to be.
website called YouNow, which is like any other streaming website.
I have never heard, like, I've only heard of it, but I didn't actually think it was a real thing. For the longest time. I found out about YouNow about 2 months ago. And I'm like, man, how many failed YouTube competitors have there been?
Just not as well known. She initially found out about VTubing due to the rise of Kitsune AI, someone that was a part of the first wave of VTubers and was arguably the first one to get mainstream attention, with many crediting her as the VTuber responsible for starting the whole VTuber trend. Ironmouse, like many other VTubers, was inspired by Kitsune to start VTubing, but she ran into a problem. She had no idea how to become a VTuber, and she had doubts that she would even be entertaining enough for people to watch. Even though her primary goal at the time for becoming a streamer didn't have anything to do with being popular or becoming an icon like Kitsune, but a far more wholesome goal, and that was to make friends and be less isolated.
If I would have started earlier as a content creator, man, if I would have started 2020, man, the possibilities probably would have been endless. When everyone had to stay home. Oh, man, but I was stuck in a hotel in Montana. So there wasn't a lot of options in that sense.
Which is quite a common story among a lot of popular streamers when asked why they started streaming, but Ironmouse on the other hand physically couldn't make friends. And it had nothing to do with things like social anxiety or the fear of accidentally talking to someone who gets easily overstimulated from simple conversations and they implode. But it wasn't anything to do with that, as she previously described herself as an extrovert that was forced to live like an introvert.
I've always been, I like to explain it like I'm an extrovert who was forced to live an introverted lifestyle.
From birth, Ironmouse was always pretty sick compared to the rest of her siblings, and in her own words, because of how frequent she was sick, her parents were always protective of her, so she grew up pretty sheltered. But when she became a teenager, things actually improved. Her health got better to the point where she thought she could actually pursue her dream at the time, which was to be a professional opera singer, as ever since watching a specific scene in the movie The Fifth Element, she always wanted to be one, which is one of the many things she's known for in the current day.
Even a memory is paradise for all the fools like me.
By the way, I am a shit singer compared to that. And that would so suck. To be like an amazing opera singer and having that dream, and then like an autoimmune deficiency that disease that comes out of nowhere and forces you in bed. I mean, that kind of sucks. It really does.
But even though things looked like they were going well, her health was better and she was now pursuing her dream, it took an unfortunate turn as soon as she turned 18. For some strange reason, out of nowhere she started getting sick again, and after many visits to a doctor, she finally found out why she was so sick all the time. Ironmouse was diagnosed.
Oh yeah, like check out her music, man. Like she fucking like kills it. Like a lot.
diagnosed with CVID, or common variable immune deficiency, which is an immune system disorder that causes the body to produce low levels of antibodies, which is required for things like fighting diseases and infections. So in essence, this means that even things like a common cold can be dangerous to those with CVID, as their body just isn't equipped to defend against it. And in Ironmouse's case, it eventually became so severe that she couldn't be around anyone, not even family, without getting sick. She also eventually had to use things like oxygen tanks due to complications with her lungs.
All of a sudden,
Yes, Ironmouse. This is Ironmouse.
I hit 18 and my body was like, nope, that's it. Everything started going haywire again. They were like, we know what's wrong with you. You have CVID. I was so severe. I became so severe I couldn't be around people.
Definitely.
Any type of contact with like my family or with friends, or I would get sick like so quickly. Like it got to the point where I couldn't leave my house. I was always on medicine. I was always on IV antibiotics.
After this, Ironmouse would drop out of school and would begin isolating herself from the
See, it's people like her that should have been protected from COVID. Everyone else who had a healthy immune system, I think should have been being able to go outside and be productive and help people like her. Right? Right. I think most people would agree with that sentiment.
the outside world. This meant she couldn't go outside at all and spent a majority of her days inside alone, bedridden. But fortunately, she did have internet access, which is such a weird phrase to say out loud, especially since it seems like a curse nowadays, which anyone that uses Instagram Reels can attest to.
Remember my teachers in school telling me I wasn't going to be working in Burger King for the rest of my life. Guess what? I start Friday, Nick!
While surfing the internet, she began watching streamers and making some online friends, which leads us back to 2017, when she found Kizune and wanted to become a VTuber with little to no knowledge on how to do it. Fortunately,
Not gonna lie, guys, I think like, in hindsight, with knowing what I know now and the experiences that I've had, I probably would have started as a VTuber. And I'm just being straight up. All the bullshit that I've had to go through because of a fucking red wire. You live and you learn.
though, one of her online friends did know, telling her about a piece of software called FaceRig, of which that friend then bought her the software. All she needed now was a model, which she quickly found on the Steam Workshop, and even better, it was free to use. So she now had everything to become a VTuber, and with little to no hesitation, she began streaming. Now, I couldn't find any archives of these streams, mainly because it was almost 9 years ago, and once again, on a website called YouNow, which wasn't as popular as other streaming platforms like Twitch. But despite this, she did have a handful of viewers on the platform that eagerly awaited her every stream. However, she would eventually create a Twitch account on the 28th of September, apparently streaming on both platforms before fully transitioning to streaming on Twitch full-time in 2019.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think Twitch has been the king for at least up until recently. I think everyone tells me that the chat is better on Twitch. And hey, I'm streaming on Twitch right now. FaceRiff invested in their crowdfunding. FaceRiff. Copy link. Did you spell it right, dude? I don't think you spelt it right. What'd you say? Face if oh, okay, never mind. Face invested in their wait, who's crowdfunding? You might need to rewrite your sentence, dude, because I don't understand.
This time, she averaged 20 viewers per stream and debuted the first version of the so-called Demon Queen model that many would know her for today. By February of 2020, she had jumped to averaging over 40 viewers per stream, but a few months later, she would see a huge blow-up, as by the end of the same year, she was now averaging over 3,000.
Oh, hey, real quick. I know that this is kind of a little bit of a pain in the ass, but on Twitch, it is so much easier to become an affiliate on there, other than Kick. Like, you have no idea. So I was wondering. Hold on. Nobody has spoken. Yeah, there we go. If people can go in there and hang out for like a few minutes, at least like 3 or 4 of you, that would actually really help me out. Because I have no idea what affiliation does on Twitch or Kick. Like, because the majority of my audience is on YouTube, so.
So what caused this sudden explosion in attention? Well, in my opinion, it was down to multiple reasons. One, this was when COVID was happening, so streaming in general saw a huge increase in viewers. Also, probably because of—
Again, man, I should have been a VTuber. I mean, I know I'd be a male VTuber, but the thing is, I'd also make my regular videos, like the same exact ones that I've already made, like my edited ones. I don't know, maybe I would have gone down the Rev Says Desu or the Hero Hey path. You never know. You never know.
COVID, it led to the second reason, which was the rise of VTubers, as simultaneously more VTubers started showing up and more people started watching them. The final reason, I think, is down to a specific clip that went viral and introduced—
I don't think I watch a lot of VTubers. See, that's kind of one of the problems, well, not problems, but the difficulties of being a streamer or in general, is that, yes, I see you, CF. I see you. One of the problems with, difficulties being a streamer in general is that once you're locked in to like 1 to maybe 3 streams, you're kind of locked in for a while. Like, I have my morning show, which is Side Scrollers podcast, and then I have just regular videos and content in between. And then there's Smash JT's show at the end of the night. And, those are my 2, streams / podcasts. And getting anyone to break away from that in order to get to, like, someone that's in my stream, then that's where you're at. So that's one of the reasons it's hard to become a streamer, is that everyone is already kind of locked into their own habits. And good for them. Like, if you have a favorite streamer that you enjoy more than watching my, little ass stream, awesome. But that's just one of the difficulties of it. And sometimes it's luck and timing, and Ironmouse just happen to have the luck, the timing, and the talent. So that's just how it is.
A lot of people to Ironmouse. Said clip was from one of her live streams in April of 2020, where within that stream, Ironmouse was gathering funds for a better workspace, more specifically a better bed, that fit her medical needs and allowed her to be more comfortable. And the reason this clip was so important and popular to the point where one re-upload—
I actually do remember this showing up on my YouTube when it happened. Like, and I remember it was like one of the most wholesome things I ever saw. And after that, I didn't even know it was the same girl until like a video like this came up like a year or 2 ago. Actually, I think it might have been CDog VA who mentioned it.
Has over 1 million views, because midway through explaining why she needs this new bed,
Thank
as soon
you.
as the fundraiser started, within a few minutes she had already completed the goal with over $2,000 donated.
Call my bed, my works, my bed, my bed. I don't like calling you my bed. It makes me feel very embarrassed. It makes me feel not so good. So I like to call my bed my workspace.
Yeah, apparently like just right off the bat.
Thank you so much for the dono. I'll be right back. I need to take a tiny break. Is that okay?
Now, things were only up from here for Ironmouse. Her average viewership would only continue to grow, and pretty quickly she'd receive an offer to join a VTuber organization called VShoujo as a founding member, with many other up-and-coming VTubers of that time. And this would seemingly only accelerate her growth even more. And she totally would not regret joining this organization later on.
God, do you guys remember the VShoujo situation that went down? Like, Legal Mindset, like, he was kind of a small, like, lawyer, because only a handful of channels, like, really blew up from the Johnny Depp trial. But his, like, and he still got some subscribers. But when he dove into the VShoujo shit, dude, Legal Mindset just skyrocketed. And it was fantastic for him to see, because he was talented. It's just, like, people like Legal Bites and Ricada Law, like, they were the 2 that kind of got the most energy. I was following Legal Bites. There might have been a few other lawyers that really did benefit, because I know Nate the lawyer, like, would join on her streams a lot. But when I think of the VShoujo stuff, I think of Legal Mindset, oddly enough.
With the new attention she was receiving, she'd now have the capability to not only improve her model with multiple iterations over the years, but she was now also able to take care of her parents like they did her.
They never retired because they had to, like, take care of me. So when the pandemic hit, they, like, lost their jobs and they were, like, really scared. But for some reason, I don't know how, it was just like such an strange thing that they lost their jobs and then all of a sudden I started making money off of streaming. So now I take care of them. And it's the other way around.
Was that one of the first gifts you gave?
Yeah, that is fantastic timing. When like everyone loses their jobs, your daughter just happens to become one of the most famous live streamers in the fucking world. Yeah, great timing. There had to be, again, not a believer or anything, but someone was watching over this bitch, and man, thank God for that.
Your parents, is when you got rich as a streamer, you gave them money?
Yeah, I paid my mom's house.
Was that
I paid
tight?
their bills. Yeah, it's nice.
That must have been pretty dope, right?
Yeah, I pay their bills and I pay my mom's house and
the talent studios are no better than MCNs. Essentially, that's just what they were. And to this day, I do not understand. Like, is it like a 0 to 60 in fandom and fame? I can imagine that, yeah. But also at the same time, honestly, I think you should just start on your own. How was my day and week? Been good.
It's nice. I got my parents' phones and stuff.
Around this time, she would also meet the content creator Connor, or Sea-Dog, someone that would heavily be featured in her content going forward. She even joined him virtually on his cyclothon, raising money for the Immune Deficiency Foundation, and the two of them nowadays are very close.
A very different IDF. One of the great memes that just... Because I watched the cyclothon, a little bit of it. I unfortunately didn't have the funds to donate to all of them, but still really fun. It's really great when they go, we're the IDF, the Immune Deficiencies Foundation, not the other one.
Close friends. Ironmouse would also start to break records. She'd do multiple subathons raising money for the Immune Deficiency Foundation, with her first in 2022 landing her as the most subscribed female on Twitch. In 2023, she'd do the same in her second attempt with over 200,000 Twitch subscribers, whilst at the same time winning the awards for the Best Content Creator of the Year and Best VTuber. However, with her latest subathon in 2024, she'd completely break all her previous records and the records of streaming in general, as during this subathon she would become the most subscribed streamer on Twitch.
Thank you, little dog Maddox. I appreciate it.
Whilst also breaking the record for the most subscribers a streamer had ever had, with over 320,000 active Twitch subscribers at the end of her subathon.
That is insane. Hold on, let's rewind that.
All her previous records and the records of streaming, winning the awards for the Best Content Creator of the Year and Best VTuber. However, with her latest subathon in 2024, she'd completely break all her previous records and the records of streaming in general, as during this subathon she would become the most subscribed streamer on Twitch, whilst also breaking the record for the most subscribers a streamer had ever had, with over 320,000 active Twitch subscribers at the end of her subathon, which also generated over
That is insane. $500,000. Yeah, I saw her the first time, little dog. I saw her the first time.
$500,000 for the Immune Deficiency charity. So if you didn't know about Ironmouse before, you definitely did now. But even though things looked like they were going pretty well, it turns out there would be a big problem with the subathon, because it turns out the money that had been raised for charity never actually went to the charity.
Oh, that's right. Because it went to V Shoujo first. And their business wasn't doing very well. I completely forgot how bad their business was.
And it wasn't Ironmouse's fault for this, but her agency, V Shoujo, as they were the ones managing all the funds made from the subathon. In July of 2025, Ironmouse would upload a video called Why I Left V Shoujo, where she talks about how the company was not only holding around $500,000 of charity money that she had earned, but was also not paying her in general.
I believe that I am owed a significant amount of funds, which I have not been paid. And most importantly, the thing that hurts me the most is that the Immune Deficiency Foundation, which is the most important charity to me, and also the reason why I'm here today, is owed over $500,000 from VShojo.
Now, stealing from both a charity and a streamer that has immune deficiency.
I think to this day, V Shoujo has not given back a dime. Like, I know that they don't exist anymore, I believe, but that's one of the most bullshit things like that could ever happen. I'm very interested. I wonder if I should go back to one of Legal Mindset's paperwork stuff, like the legal documents, and see if he points out any of the issues that were going on with V Shoujo in the contract regarding the IDF and and the donations that were supposed to be made to them. I think that'd be very interesting.
Efficiency was probably not the best look, and what followed was a PR nightmare for VShojo. Multiple VShojo members, if they
Hey, Fear
hadn't
the
already
Haggis.
left in previous years due to poor treatment and related issues, would now leave, and not only would people associated with them begin coming out about their terrible experiences with the company, but it seemed like every news outlet and platform was talking about this situation. VShojo obviously wouldn't last much longer, ceasing operations within the same month, and the charity never saw that $500,000, as it was believed that the money was actually spent on the company rather than the charity because the company was failing at that time. From this point on, Ironmouse was technically an independent VTuber, not tied to any agency, receiving 100% of the...
Again, I don't know. I don't understand why you'd tie yourself up in an agency. At least one like VShojo. Like, what was the previous one that oh shit, what's its name? Mr. Beast's and currently Hassan Piker's agency, something black, Hassan Piker agency, and I'm not trying to get into drama here on Hassan Piker right now, but Night Media. Like, I understand having an agency for, like, you have representatives that go out and they get brand deals for you. You go back and you know, make events or have a stream sponsored. It should be a pretty easy exchange. But the way that VShojo was doing it just made no sense whatsoever. It didn't even benefit the company in the long run, the way that they were doing it. If you mistreat your talent and you don't give them money for all the work that they do, eventually it's going to crack. And if you're not maintaining your finances, then you're just bad at your job. Like, one of the things that they probably should have done at the very beginning is look at the most innovative and agencies that are in at least the creator space and, like, steal a guy or two from them and, like, pay them well so that you can be a successful agency. But at least in the VTuber world, I don't think it's necessary. I really don't.
Profit from her content, and despite this event being an overall terrible experience for her, she'd still attempt to recoup some of the money by pushing for people to donate to a new charity page, where it eventually raised over $1 million.
Well, the thing is, I get that, Sarge Sapien. They promised a larger audience, and the thing is, like, especially with VShojo at the time, and there was that other one that, you know, went bust as well, like months to a year later. But also at the same time, I don't know. I think they just own too much. And I think a lot of these people just really didn't have any representation and they were just fully taken advantage of. And that's one of the reasons why I think a more seasoned creator is a lot better than, like, coming out from the get-go. You know what I mean?
For the charity, and she still wasn't done there. She'd only continued to grow. She started showing off her musical talent a lot more, being featured in the Baby No Money song 1-800. She'd start making her own music like Cry For Me, and she would also perform on stage at the Streamer Awards in collaboration with Warframe, which is the game I can guess at least 5 of you degenerates are playing right now. To this day, Ironmouse still continues to raise money for a charity that supports people.
And guess what? She did that all on her own. And the thing is, she was already popular before VShojo. So the thing is, she was already on a speed run. So that's one of the reasons why I just go, you know, like, I don't, maybe I'm just indifferent. Yeah, maybe if I get 200,000 subscribers or some shit on YouTube, or like 100,000 followers, or no, 10,000 followers on my Kick or my Twitch, I might feel differently. You never know.
That have the same condition she has, and at one point she even advocated for CVID in federal Congress. But that is the basic description of who Ironmouse is and how she got to where she is today. She's someone that, despite being dealt probably the worst cards earlier on in life, has still managed to entertain hundreds of thousands, support causes bigger than herself, and has even managed to pursue some of her goals she made before she was sick. So after all of this, why does she still see a fair amount of hate? But before we get into that,
the thing is, like, I think a majority of it has just been, now this is from my recollection, just basic misunderstandings. Like, either between a company or what someone said or how they were presented themselves. Like, very few and far between. Like, any hate for Ironmouse, to me is just kind of dumb. Like, I can understand people who don't understand VTubing. I think that's more than fine. But the hate is kind of weird. But the VTuber space is still something that I'm wrapping my head around.
Are you sick of forgetting your passwords and having to either be spammed with reset password emails or resort to writing them down, which most definitely is against company policy, but that's me assuming you're employed? Are you sick of using the same password everywhere, even though you know you really shouldn't, but that...
And if you guys are a little confused, yes, for if we're reacting and they have an ad, we do watch it out of respect.
The only one you remember? Well, today's sponsor, Proton Pass, mitigates all of those issues. It stores your passwords, emails, and even card details, meaning it's only a few clicks to do things like log into your usual websites, and said information is securely stored with end-to-end encryption. In fact, it's so secure that Proton themselves can't even see your details. And if you're one of those people that use the same password everywhere, Proton can generate and store a unique password for you, so you no longer have to worry about one password leaking and all your accounts being compromised. If your account does get compromised from that one sketchy website you signed up for, if you use Proton Pass...
It's happened to me. It's happened to Smash. We've all been fished. It's not fun. It's not fun.
This alias tool, it doesn't really matter, because with their alias tool, you can make burner emails that can be used instead of your personal, where they can be easily deleted. So sign up for free today using my link, proton.me/royalty, or you can get 50% off a paid plan with the same link, and if you're not satisfied, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee when you make a purchase. But thank you to Proton for sponsoring this video.
All right, moving
If your avatar, if Ironmouse disappeared today, who would still love you for who you really are? These are the questions I would have asked her. How would she have asked? How do y'all think she would have answered them?
Every time I hear someone say ax instead of ask, I have a slight aneurysm.
She would have been shaking.
So probably one of the first things Ironmouse got hit for was, you know, being Ironmouse, or more specifically, a VTuber. Now yes, most of the internet by at least 2021, after the big blow up of VTubers, knew what they were, but not everyone was watching them and wouldn't have thought in their wildest dreams that one of them would become the most subscribed live streamer at one point, dethroning these so-called fleshies of that time.
I mean, at the time, I was aware of streaming, but I never got into it, even back in 2020. But I will tell you, in hindsight, it was just waiting to blow up. It was if you just combine two things, millennials and anime, it was bound to happen.
And when Ironmouse actually did this in 2024, not only was she plastered almost everywhere, but she would also stunlock these people that once again weren't exactly used to watching VTubers or seeing someone that looked like an anime girl doing significantly better than conventional streamers who usually stream themselves with a webcam. And these people would begin voicing their confusion, especially around the time she had just dethroned Kai Cenat as the most subscribed person on Twitch in 2024, with a lot of people either mocking or expressing genuine confusion at the fact this had just happened, and all of said reactions were perfectly presented in a clip of Adam Ross when he found out about this, and I think it's safe to assume, judging from his reaction, that this is his first time ever seeing a VTuber.
Most subscribed Twitch channel ever. What? And she surpassed Kai Cenat's record. Wait. Hold the fuck up. What? What the fuck is this? I'm not even trying to be on no hating shit, but
I go back and forth with Aiden Ross. I understand I agree with 60 to 70% of what he stands for, but sometimes dude, you can be a little more kind, man. It's one thing to not understand. It's another by taking this fucking approach. And it's stuff like this where I want to like Aiden Ross, and then he does stuff like this. It just baffles me.
what the fuck am I looking at? Can somebody give me the context behind this? I saw this picture earlier. I thought it was some type of meme.
But Sergeant, you understand what I'm saying though? It's oh man, oh, he's doing well. He's there. So close. I kind of respect him, and then all of a sudden, does something really dumb. And it does, it's one of those things. I really do want to like him, but I just know that if I stuck with him, my heart would be broken. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
It's a dude? No shit. Guys, anybody that's role-playing as this is a fucking grown man.
This was somewhat the common thought process for people that had just been introduced to Ironmouse from her popularity surrounding her subathon, and obviously it would only escalate from here after taking over Kai, as people who were possibly fans of him didn't like that their favourite streamer had just been dethroned by a VTuber, which got so bad that her friend Sea-Dog made a video on the topic.
This video is about one thing. It's about the weird blanket hatred.
By the way, this was an incredibly done video. Like, I can imagine that Sea-Dog and a lot of his friends wouldn't like me or my politics, but I will say that, like, a lot of these guys are just genuine, you know, good dudes, at least from a personality standpoint. I think they really do care about people. And sorry, Sea-Dog, for the... sorry, Connor, for that. But yeah, this was an incredibly well done video. Super simple, straight to the point. Nailed it.
Towards VTubers, I've seen a massive, massive hate train against Ironmouse.
And eventually even Kai himself talked about the hate Ironmouse was getting, basically saying she has been around for a while and what she was doing was for a good cause, and the two of them even did a collab later on after this.
Know your Twitch history and stuff. Ironmouse has always been top 5 all time. She's always been on the leaderboards all time. You feel me? She's not nothing new. She's somebody I had to pass.
Yeah, see, that's kind of one of the things with Aiden. It's like, why would you just be discovering this now? Like, as a streamer, you should have already known that this was happening. So there's a part of me of Aiden where I'm like, okay, were you just trying to like storm up some drama for your stream, or did you not do your due diligence the last, you know, few years of what was going on? Like, you should have known, man.
During my first subathon, she's always been on a leaderboard. She's been there if you know your real Twitch shit. You feel what I'm saying? Now, I know people are defensive. I know a lot of people defend me and shit like that. But Chad, if you actually looked at her stream and actually kept up with what she's doing, you feel what I'm saying? Not only was it for a good cause, but it was pretty well put together.
But all of this mostly happened in 2024. You'd think people would at least get used to or understand what a VTuber is now, right? No, not really. That sentiment is still around, and some are still genuinely...
It baffles me that that's still around. Like, probably, like, who... On YouTube, at least this is from my brain, this is from my algorithm, everyone at some point should have seen Rev Says Desu. Even if you don't subscribe to him, you know of him. He's either controversial or you agree with him. Everyone understands that sentiment. And he's a really base dude. But you still, and you might disagree, like I said, you might disagree with him. But
perplexed at the existence of VTubers, which isn't really anything new. VTubers have had this for years, it's just Ironmouse is brought up more often than not in these conversations, because she's one of the more popular examples, which leads to a lot of shit being thrown her way, even to this day, especially recently due to her sprite being added to Fortnite, where we saw the same things being said in reaction to her being added, and there was another situation involving Adin Ross again a few months ago, where he still seems confused about Ironmouse and how she was able to get nominated for categories in the 2025 Streamer Awards.
How are they a duo? No disrespect, how could Ironmouse and Sea-Dog even be sit together, brother? It's a robot.
Yeah, put it in.
Okay.
This guy, bro, listen, he's probably flirting. He's probably flirting with a man, bro. Yo, we don't even know if Ironmouse is a man or not. I'm not even joking, bro. Los and Wad is a father and son, a wholesome father and son friendship, bro. That's just my take, bro.
However, she hasn't only received hate from outside the VTuber community, she's also experienced hate from within the community as well. With one of the more notable instances being when she congratulated and defended the Burnt Peanut for being nominated and then later winning VTuber of the Year at the Streamer Awards. Which, yes, sounds very confusing when you say it out loud, because how can one get hit simply for congratulating a person for winning an award?
Oh,
unless the award...
Yeah, I remember this. Like, would you call the Burnt Peanut, or whatever he's called, a typical VTuber? No, but, you know, a virtual character, you know? Like, I think it was a really dumb argument to have in the first place. Like, I guess you have just a tradition, like, they should have just been like, hey, you know, that's a traditional VTuber, and that's more so of a 3D VTuber. Like, I don't know exactly what you would call it, but, you know, it is what it is. And I think that whole situation was just dumb. If you are virtual, if you're not showing your face, and you're using some sort of digital formatting to hide your face, then you're a VTuber. Oh, a P-tuber, a peanut tuber, whatever. But it makes sense. Virtual tuber.
What is for like the most infants curb stomped or the most...
Oh, yeah. I understand that. I understand the drama, man.
Most consecutive slurs used in a deadlock game, I guess then I would somewhat understand the hate. But if you didn't know, there was actually an argument being had around this time if the burnt peanut was actually a VTuber, as yes, he may have fit the definition of it, but he didn't exactly look like your average VTuber, and even he himself didn't really seem to agree with the title of VTuber after winning the award. And he also said some things about VTubers when he got shit from people after winning the award, which the VTuber community didn't exactly like.
To accept this Best VTuber of the Year award, even though I'm a VTuber, that's okay. Little miscommunication there, peanut tuber.
You feel about your chatters?
Oh my god, it's a joke. God, people, there's some things you don't have to take too seriously, man.
Fan base being nothing but disgusting towards Ironmouse after she defended you publicly.
Oh, no, good sir, no. See that? That's a VTuber right there. Listen up, 40-year-old man in a 15-year-old anime 2D VTubing suit. Listen up. It's not my community saying anything bad to Ironmouse. Dude, I don't hate VTubers. I just think they're a bunch of freaky fuckers. Hey, would I be wrong?
We're not all like that. That's the thing.
That's true, but I think a large majority of them are freaky fuckers.
So when Ironmouse came out,
which is a fair statement, they can get a little freaky, and that's okay. He deserves to have that opinion. Is it all the time? No, but generally, you kind of have an idea there's a little bit of freakiness that goes on, and that's okay. As long as it doesn't get too crazy, I think everything's okay.
and congratulated the burnt peanut, some viewed this as a betrayal of some sorts and started flinging their shit at Ironmouse. But if I'm honest, as I've said before, first, this isn't a Grammy or a BAFTA award, this is an award from an event run by streamers that comes across a controversy almost every year for the people nominated, and two, I just don't think it's that serious, especially if all Ironmouse did was say that he deserved.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's not that serious. It's okay. I think it's like a lot of this, just streaming in general, and I said this on my last stream, I think, but it's just virtual WWE. That's all it is. People have fans. The only difference is that, like, not all of us are creating, like, a character, right? Like, you could say that Ironmouse, she has her, you know, demon lore or mouse lore. I forget what it is. I never pay attention to the lores of these people. I just go, oh, yeah, it's Ironmouse. Peanut, let's just say, like, it's just WWE, and the fans make up shit so that there's more conflict than there actually is, so that it satisfies some sort of wrestling match in their brain so that their side can win or not. So much of it is just WWE drama. If you think about it that way, it makes more sense. Like, you can even do the same thing with Smash JT and Alyssa Mercante. WWE. There is a villain who is clearly the villain for no fucking reason other than to be the villain. And then there's a guy with a family, with a nuclear family, who was just saying words back. And then she decides to sue. Then, you know, groups formed. And then people started attacking people. And it got bloody. But I think that Team Smash will win in the end.
To be there and congratulated him, so it's not uncommon for her to get hate from, dare I say, the gatekeepers of the community and people that take things way more seriously than they should. Another thing Ironmouse got hate for was her music, more specifically the song Cry For Me, released in April of 2025, but it was also shown off a year prior at the 2024 Streamer Awards. I know I've mentioned the Streamer Awards about 20 times already, and don't worry, I'm gonna do it again, but yeah, for context, a lot of these...
And so much drama behind the Streamer Awards. Now, the only drama that I think should exist for the Streamer Awards is the awards themselves, because I know that's controversial on one end. It's also kind of weird how they're done. It's also weird how many different kind of categories there are and how they try to fit people and what, like, I understand that's hard, and we were talking about Cutie Cinderella in the Streamer Awards. But that's the, like, out of all the things that, you know, people criticize about the Streamer Awards, the way that they do the awards is kind of weird. It is kind of weird. It's not like I have a solution or anything like that, but still kind of weird.
situations came from the Streamer Awards or around it. I'm just saying. Now, this song upon release was completely fine. Nobody really had anything bad to say about it, and it wasn't really out of the ordinary for VTubers to make music. But when Ironmouse started getting shit thrown out at the end of 2025, this song suddenly started getting a lot more attention despite being released months prior, and people started to say things like she can't sing or her music was bad, specifically focusing on the chorus where she goes where. Some were even saying it was worse than KSI's Thick of It, which is probably just nostalgia or down to the fact you've listened to it.
I'm gonna let you know, I think I've only heard one song from KSI, and I don't even remember it.
So many times you can't tell how bad the song is anymore. But what Ironmouse was seeing was a lot like the treatment Baby No Money was getting at that time when he was in a lot of drama, where a lot of people said the same.
Man, the Baby No Money drama was so avoidable. Honestly, I think it was pretty stupid. Like hiding Asmongold's face. If anything, I think it would have helped him. Be like, dude, I'm just hanging out with content creators. If you don't think that they're good people, that's fine for you to think. I'm going to work with people who are chill. Right? They treated me with respect. I treated them with respect. It was fun. But nope. But the thing is, he's just fine. He really is.
And things about him and his music. Personally, with my bipolar music taste, I don't think Ironmouse's song was that bad. I think a lot of people around that time were just shitting on it to shit on it. But nowadays, it's actually used in a lot of memes, sometimes in a less mocking way, I guess. And I'm putting you on some absolute heat here, but the Where Funk remix Slowed is actually a pretty good version of her song. I'm not going to confirm or deny if I'm fucking with you.
You reading comments? I haven't started reading comments. I don't intend to, but I might.
There's also a Guna version of that song.
Whoa. Not what I was expecting.
Another situation that caused a lot of hate for Ironmouse was the Rakai and Ray situation, which of course happened at the Streamer Awards once again, where Rakai and Ray came up to Ironmouse while she was virtually attending and started asking a bunch of questions, and later on Ironmouse would go on stream and talk about how uncomfortable she was in that situation.
Oh, okay. Ironmouse, you are a legend. Yeah! What's up?
Okay, these guys, not gonna lie, I do kind of remember this situation. They're kind of incredibly energetic and definitely clout chasers as far as I can tell. Him actually less so. I think he's actually sometimes smart, but these two can be a little much.
So, yeah. Okay, babe, okay, I got a question. How you look in real life? Whoa.
People, some people just don't think. But then again, these people, it's eyeballs at all cost. Even if it hurts their reputation in some ways, it might help them in the long run. Or the short one. I don't know.
In real life?
Yeah.
Oh, ugly. That's why I'm a VTuber, duh.
You're right.
I also saw a tweet about me talking to Rakai and Ray. And a lot of people were saying that I'm basically trying to appeal to people, appease people, fit in with people. You have no idea what I went through in that moment. So let me explain to you. And I get rushed by...
And also at the same time, this wasn't the greatest response either. I remember this. Like, look, if you're uncomfortable with the questions, yeah, sure. But it's a little odd that you were shaking. And I don't know. I was kind of split in the middle here. Like, yeah, they were kind of assholes. And I think this response could have been better. But, when you're doing this, you're gonna make mistakes like this. And sometimes you can even say the perfect thing and you're not going to satisfy everybody. But, it is what it is at the end of the day. And she did the best that she could with the hands that were dealt to her.
Rakai and Ray. I will tell you 100%, I was very uncomfortable to the point where I was shaking because I already knew that I was going to get asked something terrible. I knew that they were going to say something rude to me.
Now, obviously, the main point people would share was that she physically wasn't there. She could turn off the
Yeah.
iPad or disconnect from the call if she was uncomfortable, which, to be honest, aren't terrible points. But I think Ironmouse was going to lose either way. If she did tell them to leave her alone, there would be drama anyway, and if she...
Exactly. You can't win in that situation. Like, it's like I was a little, I don't know, maybe it was a tonal thing. Again, I go kind of back and forth. Like, these guys were clearly, being clout chasers, but that's kind of what they are. They push the envelope, and maybe she was just slightly uncomfortable, especially with like, what do you look like in real life? Okay. All right. God damn it. Why? All right, dude. If you're gonna be doing this over on the short side, then you're just gonna go. Bye.
didn't, which did happen, she got shit anyway from the VTuber gatekeepers for answering the questions the way she did and from just interacting with them, which was pointed out by another VTuber called Giga.
So it wasn't what they said to her in that moment that made her uncomfortable. It was that they have hate farmed her previously many times. Specifically their communities and other adjacent ones. And she's never said anything back about it. And then what happened was, because she kind of went along with the like, oh, VTubers are ugly joke, some other VTubers were like, why would you say that? And she was explaining to other VTubers on her stream. That was what that context of that conversation was. She was like, I've had this issue before, and that's, and so she was explaining to the people in her chat, they're like, why would you make that joke? She was like, look, I just wanted to keep it cool. I've been hate farmed before, so I'm like, let me just fucking go along with it and not cause a problem. And then people clipped that and thought that she was like saying that she was only uncomfortable because they asked her a question.
Anyway, in a perfect world, if I...
Okay. So it looks like that there was some context to the situation. So it was a combination of things, not just one thing. Okay. I guess she didn't make that clear. So yeah, a little bit on her. Not like a little bit of her just not explaining, but still on, how am I trying to say this? Yeah, a little bit, her mistake for not fully explaining everything. But if it was fully explained, I think it probably would have gone off a lot better than the initial, critique, her initial grievance with those few guys.
Mouse had just ignored the shit from both sides and not said anything, everything would have been fine. But the fact she did and used the word uncomfortable, even though yes, she wasn't physically there, it set a lot of people off. Regardless, Ray did later somewhat apologize to Ironmouse if he did make her uncomfortable, and Rakai had the reaction you'd probably expect.
I'm saying for the rest of the day, bro.
Why?
Be for real, man.
Isn't this the guy who, like, didn't this guy, like, not understand history? Didn't he, like, disrespect someone to the point where his mom actually got involved? Am I remembering this correctly?
A similar situation happened in May of 2026 when she refused to continue with a partnership playing a game called Neverse to Everness because she had been supposedly lied to by the company regarding the use of AI within the game.
They told my sponsor people. They said no. They said, we do not have AI in anything. There's no AI anywhere. And it's just like, why are you fucking lying, bro?
This would cause a heated debate as some supported her.
I hate this debate. People are using AI. Anime is using AI. Believe it or not. Hell, there's probably AI and a ton of shit that you're using today, and you don't even know it. This whole video game thing, AI is going to be a blessing, and it's going to be a curse. It's going to be a double-edged sword. We need to stop damning people and developers for using AI. If something could help them make it faster, then that should be the case. As long as the quality matches, then that should be the case. I think it's a better idea to have smaller studios where everyone can communicate a lot better with what they're doing than having gigantic studios. So then we can be pumping out quality games more consistently. That makes more sense to me. Or, hey, maybe there's just going to be game purists out there who are going to be like, you know what, we're not going to use AI. It's all going to be human-oriented, and it'll be 2 to 4 people teams, and it'll still be great. You know what? It's either way, I don't care. It's still competition. So let's stop damning people for using AI. It's getting a little ridiculous.
a decision citing they prefer human art over AI, and the other side would say this is virtue signaling or point out how she's a hypocrite because she's played games before that contained some sort of AI. The company would later respond saying that yes, AI was.
That's a different kind of AI, dude. So there's a difference between the AI that, like the generative AI that we're talking about, and then there's the like algorithmic behavior-based AI that's in video games. Those are the video game ones where the like NPCs still have if-then statements, like that are handwritten out. So that's it, like NPC AI, and then there's generative AI that's like ChatGPT and Claude and Grok. So when people use the term AI, you kind of have to be a little bit more specific in what you mean by that, because the way that you're using it and the way that I'm using it are two completely different things in regards to this video.
Used, but only for things like background assets that didn't involve core parts of the game, and they would slowly be replacing them over time.
No, it's not. It is, but it isn't. Okay, Kyle, it is, but it isn't. Shut up.
Now, ultimately, it's her decision not to stream a game, and if she was lied to whilst working with the company, that's...
Yeah, but the thing is that, like, if it was something for, like, background assets, I don't think that's the biggest of deals. It's like, especially like with Expedition 33, they had like a few placement holders that were still in code that like they had to like go and find it. Like if I'm around, remembering correctly, that they had to like go and find the little like AI background stuff that didn't really matter for the game itself. Like everything else was, you know, high tier, all handmade, except for a few other little things.
More than enough of a reason to drop the company altogether. But it becomes complicated if she only dropped them because of that reason or because it purely involved AI at all. And if it was because of that, yes, I can see why some see it as a bit hypocritical, since recently she even worked for Fortnite, who has admitted to using AI generation. Ultimately, we don't really know. Ironmouse hasn't really continued to comment on it. But either way, if it is true her sponsor lied to her, it is definitely a deal breaker and she should have dropped them. The last thing I came across of why people hate Ironmouse is because they think she is lying about her sickness. However, there's been no credible evidence that she has lied about it.
Well, the thing is, at least from what we know, especially her relationship with CDawg VA, and who he says he's seen her real face, and I think he can verify that her sickness is real. So I trust CDawg VA. Like I said, I think he's a great guy. I disagree with some of his opinions on a few things, but overall, I think he's a fantastic human being.
When these people spouting this get asked about it, they usually have no concrete evidence except for their own opinion. So yeah, it's basically their own canon fanfiction that she is lying. I mean, hey, it would honestly be impressive if she was lying for like, what, 10 years now, and to everyone around her, including her friends, because nobody has said anything about it. That would be some like Code Geass level of plot twist if it did happen though. But yeah, those are the main reasons people hate Ironmouse, and in my opinion, I think a lot of it isn't deserved and is over.
And that... You guys don't know how much interesting timing that Code Geass joke was. I'm not going to get into it, but yeah.
Exaggerated at times, and some people just shit on her for the sake of shitting on her. Yes, I think in some situations she could mitigate a lot of this by not feeling compelled to respond to these people or situations, as most times she doesn't really need to, and it makes things worse. But overall, I think she's doing fine and hasn't done anything seriously terrible where she deserves to be hated. And once again, she's done some genuinely good...
Like, I think that there's some valid criticism, like just kind of how some things, you know, were communicated. But I don't think there's anything that should be hateful, like hate towards her. Like she's been nothing but a net benefit to the internet, to wholesomeness, to basically about anything. Like I can disagree with her about like the AI stuff, though on one hand, if the, you know, game developers said, hey, there's no AI, but then maybe they, again, like just like that Kyle and I were having a disagreement, they didn't consider like a few background pictures here and there, you know, that something like that counted. So I don't know, maybe a little bit of miscommunication. When she was talking about AI, they were thinking about, you know, not just random placeholder pictures that are in the back end of the code, right? So again, like net benefit with just some kind of dumb shit along the way. And hell, I think I'm a net negative to society. So on the internet. So I think she's a net benefit to everything.
Good things with the cards she was dealt, and her latest subathon is coming up soon where she'll probably raise more money and break more records. Anyway, that's just something I wanted to yap about. I hope roaches come out of your foreskin tonight, but yeah, that's all I...
What? Why would you want that, royalty? Why would you want... Oh, are we going to war, Mr. Haggis? Is that what's going on? Are we going to war? All right, with that being said, let's finish this off. Oh, I need to send you guys the video so you guys can watch it without my yapping. But with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and raid the Smash JT. We're going to do that on the YouTube first and then on Rumble. Hold on 1 second, guys. Okay. We're going to raid on Rumble and YouTube. Smash JT. Unfortunately, Smash doesn't have a Twitch channel, and I need 5 viewers on Kick in order to raid him. So we are going to do that. All right. So, okay, main YouTube channel. Heading over to Smash JT. There we go. Shorts. Hey, thank you for watching this clip from my live stream. Please comment below, like, and subscribe. And be sure to subscribe to my main channel, where I do all these live streams and have my independent videos where I do deep dives. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, you are somebody, I am nobody, and I hope you have a fantastic day.